to this live broadcast on CGTN. I'm Yang Chengxi in Shanghai. I am right now in the Mobile World Congress Shanghai 2018, which is one of the leading industry conferences on telecommunication and mobile technologies in the world right now. And this is the 9th event. It's held from June the 27th to June the 29th. About 60,000 people will be participating over these 3 days, and you can see behind me how many people are here to witness really the latest and greatest in mobile technology. And not only mobile, the four major topics that people will be discussing and manufacturers will be showcasing are AI and automotive technology, smart devices, and Internet of Things. And together they make up the theme for this year, which is Discover a Better Future. And let's now discover for ourselves how these devices make our futures better. Now let's come over here. Now this is a booth from China Unicom, which is one of the big three telecommunication service providers in China. And today they're really showcasing their 5G technology. So China's major telecommunication service providers are really pushing forward their agenda on 5G. And China is now one of the leaders in the world for 5G technology. For example, China Unicom pledged to make 5G commercially available by the year 2020. So what they're showing right now is some of the applications of their 5G technologies. For example, let's look over here. I think this is a game where people can have a skiing experience with 5G technology. So you pretty much see these kind of games in arcades and arcade rooms. But one of the major differences is you don't see the cables on the floor. In fact, there are no cables. The machines are connected to the TV screen via 5G signals. And the point of this game is to showcase how minimal the internet lag is between when the player moves and then the character moves accordingly. So let's see how seamless or how fast that signal can be. For now, the player is not moving. Ah, see. Now he's moving. I think they're still fine-tuning the game. Let's see how he plays with this new game, with this new round. I think the boy is competing with that girl over there. Oh, so the game is on now. It feels like a fun game, but you do have to get in line to play. And frankly, we don't have the time right now, but you get the idea of how fast that connection speed can be. It allows for seamless control from a machine to another machine. So what this is a 5G augmented reality holographic communication system. So we can see that the other people is, I think, 5 feet away from here. So if you put on that the goggle, then you can have a real-time communication with this person, and you're supposed to see a holographic image. 这个我们现在可以试吗？可以的。I'm gonna have a try for myself. Right. 可以试吗？
要帮您带。
好。This feels very futuristic.
要不您用手扶一下？
好。
您
好。
在方便，或者眼睛多帮您扶一下。
好。
会比较紧啊。
嗯。Now I do see a person. Now I do see a person in front of me. That is a holographic image. So when I move around, he's still in front of me. He's changing angles. So it's almost like a real person is just in front of you, except that he's playing with his phone right now and not really talking to me. But you get the idea. Let's try if we could really show that to the camera and let you see the effects for yourself. Now you can see the arm and leg of that person in front of you. He is right here. He is right here, where my finger is pointing. I mean, due to the constraints of our camera, we can't really show the full effects. But this is supposed to be one of the more futuristic ways of communication, which is enabled by 5G technology, because our communication through our internet right now is mostly 2D. You see a 2D image of a person, which makes sense because it allows for a slower bandwidth. But with 5G, you can have a lot of bandwidth, and now you're capable of holding a holographic communication with another human being, which requires a lot of data being transmitted between devices. And this is also a cool thing. Let's see what this is. 可以介绍一下吗？
切 PPT 不是有那个我们的那个？
现在可以介绍一下吗？
现在让我们的那个总监给您介绍。
您好，我们是中国国际电视台的，您可以介绍这个功能是什么吗？
这个是一个远程驾驶，就是说我们在北京的房山地区，这是现场部署了5G 的基站，有智能驾驶的车辆，然后这里边是现场的操控台，就是我们可以远程驾驶，在上海远程驾驶1300公里以外的北京的车辆。
这个是实时的画面吗？这些还是
视频？一会儿我们会有一个小型的发布会，会有实时的画面来播放。
So what this is, this joystick controls a car about 1,500 kilometers away, all the way in the capital of Beijing. That car you see on the screen right there, this is not a live image, but they are showing a live image about 15 minutes from now. This car is in the Fangshan district of Beijing, so it's, let's say, very far from here. And this joystick, using 5G signals, can theoretically and practically control that car over there in Beijing. So this is another example of showing how fast 5G speed can be. Let's come back probably in 15 minutes when they have a real-time visual presentation, and maybe we can see by then the effects of 5G. So a little bit of interesting background information here. It takes about 300 milliseconds for a human to blink. You see how fast we blink. But it only takes 1 millisecond for 5G signals to travel between terminals. That's the theoretical speed. So such a high speed enables a lot of functionalities. One of such functionalities here, as we see over here, is what we call smart cities. So 5G technology has great potential in urban administration. For example, this is called the neuron of city. So what it does is that a lot of no matter it's traffic lights or hospital rooms, they all send out signals and they all connect together. And using a central control system, we can see where everything is, how everything is operating, and how they can coordinate with each other. And this, we did an example. We did film an example in China's Hangzhou city, which is one of the technology hubs in China, and where Alibaba is, one of the tech giants of China. So they implemented their version of the smart city solution to the traffic police in that city, so they can monitor real time how many traffic violations there is and how many cars are changing lanes illegally, and they can coordinate the traffic lights using an automated system. They don't have human interference, and using this 5G connectivity, they can calculate real time how they coordinate traffic signals. But they are only implementing it in a small part in the city. So it's still an experimentation, but you can see the potential, the future potential when this is widely implemented. So 5G technology can also be used in the healthcare industry. It's called smarter health industry. For example, I did interview a 5G expert a month ago, and he told me that one very promising application is to allow for long-distance operations on patients, because a lot of doctors, a lot of world-renowned doctors do a lot of surgeries, but they're limited to a confined area, confined space where they live. So when another patient all across the globe need to have that medical assistance, need to have that doctors to perform an operation, theoretically, using 5G technology and smart, precise robot arms, doctors can perform operations remotely. But that is, for now, still a very distant future. The precision of machines are still lacking for that to be feasible. But that is expected to become a reality in the next 50 to 100 years. And that is a very, very conservative estimate. And we see, look over to this big screen right here. This almost looks like autonomous driving because nobody's driving it. However, this car is supposedly controlled by the control panel we filmed just a minute ago. So if we walk some more over here, we can also see a lot of application of 5G technology in all kinds of areas. They're showing 5G in retail. This is showing 5G in transportation. For example, how freight trains and trucks coordinate their routes. This is one of the possible applications. Let's walk over there and see if there are more interesting things to see, because this is not like consumer electronic exhibitions. This Mobile World Conference consists also a lot of manufacturers of product solutions for consumer brands, but they're not directed towards consumers themselves. So a lot of technologies we as consumers can't really get access to or comprehend, for that matter, which we don't need to be really. They are solutions for the lower end consumer brands. So now this is, let's take a look at this place. It's called H3C. It is also a digital solution provider. So what we see over here is a supermarket style place. 您可以介绍一下这个功用是什么吗？
你好，我们这是一个无人超市的一个称重架，相当于是我们的产品可以放到这个
设备上面可以自动显示出设备的金额，那么可以识别出不同的货品的价值，然后可以解决超市在无人的情况下能够在超市在无人的情况下能够解决无人售货的能力。那么可以看出来，我们这款设备可以通过5个摄像头和一个这个电子秤，可以解决货品的称重的问题以及价格的问题。那通过5个摄像头可以识别出每一款产品的货品，包括它的价格。
解释一下。
So we've got driverless cars, and now we have staffless supermarkets. So this is supposed to be used in one of those staffless supermarkets. So what it does is that when you place a random subject, for example, a delicious apple, here, it not only shows what it is on the screen, it can practically recognize what this is. There is no QR codes or any things to scan on this apple, but it just recognized that this is one of those delicious apples on the shelf. Probably it registered the shape in the machine, and also it shows the price here, and it can detect how heavy this thing is. So it shows up on in your cart, and then you pay with your WeChat account, which practically most Chinese citizens do have. So I see a pretty comprehensive solution for a staffless supermarket. Let's see what technologies are used in this thing. 这个机器主要用到了一些什么样的科技？
是这样的，这个是一个无人声源台，它主要用到了一个图像识别的技术。那么我们可以看到，这两侧各有2个摄像头，下端还有1个摄像头。那么一共5个摄像头可以识别出每个货品的品类。那么也就是说，比如说我们将一款饮料放到上面，我们可以看到它可以识别出这个产品的名称。那么每支原果粒橙450毫升。那么这个是我们在后台设置的简单设置了一个0.01元的一个架子，简单设置了一下。那么同样的话，下面这个也是一个电子的秤，它可以识别出这个产品的重量。那么也就可以看到，如果是不同体积的，那么我们的这个米制原果粒橙这个产品的话，它可以识别出它的体积，它是一个450毫升的产品，那么它就可以对应出它的价值。
So let me translate. It practically has 5 cameras here, so when you place something on top, it pretty much shows all angles of this thing, so it's practically impossible to misdiagnose what this thing is unless it's in its database. So it can practically show what it is, and it will show the price according to the data we have there. So what if it's something bigger, like a cabbage? Right, it shows that it's a piece of cabbage. Right. So this is one of the more interesting applications. Right now, there is a staffless supermarket in Shanghai. It's still waiting for a massive application. But a lot of people do foresee that is part of the feature. So of course, seeing these things being displayed in an exhibition like this really goes to show that how soon that these things can be ready for popularization across the market. So that's why in a lot of economic conferences, experts talk about, are we going to see a massive unemployment wave coming? Because this AI and robotics and cloud computing will effectively replace a lot of laborers today across supermarkets, across gas stations, and what have you. So that is an issue to be addressed by policymakers going forward in the past 10 years, and a huge challenge. So we also have business that showcase their cloud and connectivity solutions. These are a little bit technical for an average consumer like myself. They're more marketed towards brands downstream instead of directly towards the consumer. let's check out if there are other interesting stuff right here. And in the meantime, I can read to you some data that you might find interesting about this event. There are about 550 exhibitors from around the world who participate in the Mobile World Conference this year. And there are 59 hours of conference content. A lot of executives from really the world-leading technology firms are coming to showcase their technology. I think it's pretty much it for this stadium. However, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stadiums in here that have other exhibitors. What we plan to do now is to walk towards another stadium and see if we can find anything interesting there. And as I was talking about, we have about 200 speakers that are speaking at the Mobile World Conference this year. And get this, more than 350 CEOs of tech firms are also coming to give their talks and participate and to meet their clients. So a lot of technologies showcased here today really focus on AI. AI is, to many people, still something probably out of a science fiction movie or science fiction soap opera. And we see what AlphaGo can do. We see what machine learning is capable of doing. And experts say a lot of the AI products, at least in China today, still rely heavily on this concept of database plus voice recognition. Practically, you say something and it recognizes your speech, and it does a search in its database. That does not have a lot to do with machine learning. So there is a long way to go for a lot of artificial intelligence solution providers in China. Let's now walk to the other stadium. However, the industry of AI brings in a lot of revenue because people believe in the future of this rising industry. In 2016, the AI industry raked in a $0.6 billion worth of revenue, and is expected to reach $37 billion by the year of 2025. So that's a 57-fold time-fold compared to 2016. So that just goes to show how promising this area can be. Now we are taking the walk to N2, which is another stadium. There are about seven stadiums for this show. And what we are about to see in Stadium 2 are some of the things that we didn't see in Stadium 1. That is self-driving cars, and not only self-driving cars, but just those new types of cars by new companies. They're not manufactured from the traditional big names that you hear, Volkswagen and Mercedes-Benz. We've got a lot of up-and-coming new brands, new car brands in China that makes really cool-looking cars. A lot of them are still concepts. How these manufacturers will make these cars commercially available is still a question to be answered. So this is also a solution provider for 5G technology. It's called ZTT. I think they're showing what its applications can be. They have a virtual reality experiment zone over there. So again, we see 5G equipments being showcased here. Now we've reached the automotive area. Now we see Onstar, which is one of the solutions providers, and Volkswagen over there, and Byton over here. Now, if you look at Byton over here, is one of the domestic cars. It doesn't really look like those old-fashioned domestically Chinese-produced cars. It's really cool looking, very futuristic, and more importantly, it says it's capable of being an L3 level self-driving car. So for those of you who don't know what L3 level is, L1 level autonomous driving means the automation of one single function, and L2 automated driving means a multi-layered automated function with the control of a microchip. And L3, which is what this car is capable of, is the car is capable of taking over practically key safety functions. And L4 means a complete autonomous driving within a given area. And L5, which is what manufacturers are striving to achieve, is pure autonomous driving in all kinds of driving conditions. And if you look at what's inside that car, you see a pretty huge, cool-looking screen. 对，是媒体。中国国际电视台，我们现在正在手机直播。我们可以介绍一下这款车吗？
我帮你找一个那个我们的专业的同事过来。
好，现在过来可以吗？ If you look at what's inside that car, you see a pretty cool-looking screen over there. So the trend in the industry is really to go without the buttons. All the buttons, they're throwing them away. They're replacing them with a huge slick screen. 你好，你好，我们是中国国际电视台的记者。那我们是英语直播的，您英语解释可以吗？
可以。
可以啊。
是有什么形式？是我来介绍还是您来介绍？
我一个问题您介绍，我提一个问题您介绍一下好吗？
我要先自我介绍一下。
好，您可以自我介绍一下。
是英文什么？Okay, hello, everyone. My name is Frank Chen. I'm from Byton PR team.
So can you give us a little bit of introduction of this car? What new technologies are really incorporated into this machine right here?
Okay. The name of this car is Byton and Byte. This car is positioned as the next generation of smart device. The difference of this, or the highlight of this car is for other cars, like other EV cars, they target to achieve better driving performance, but this car target to achieve more smart features. Like if you can take a look at inside the car, we have the largest car SED, the largest car display.
Really no buttons in there. There's just one big slick screen.
Yeah, it's actually physically it's one big screen, and it can be controlled via voice control, via gesture control, and via other channels can be controlled and interacted with this big display. On that big display, actually, you can people can to do some like entertaining, some social networking, or even some work inside this car. So for people, this car is not only for people to move from point A to point B, but you can do more things with this car. And also, this car has other like smart features. If you take a look at the grille part, there is a big LED at the front. You can see there are many connecting lines here. The car has the connecting lines will show different colors under different conditions. Like when the car is charged or is need to be charged, the colors of these connecting lines will be in different colors.
How fast can we charge this car?
there are two versions of this car. For the entry level, if you charge it 30 minutes, about 80% of this car can be charged. And the high version, if you want to charge like 80%, you need 35 minutes.
So Byton is based in Shanghai. It's a local brand. It's a Chinese brand.
Yeah, actually, this brand is rooted in China, but it's a global company. The headquarters of this company is based in Nanjing, actually, instead of Shanghai. But it's a multi-location company. In the future, the car will be locally produced in Nanjing, and also the China R&D part will be based in Nanjing as well. For Shanghai office, I think the function like sales, marketing, after sales will be based in Shanghai. And for Beijing office, I think it mainly responsible to government affairs and also media relations. And for designing part, the Munich office will be responsible to designing. And our Santa Clara office will be mainly responsible to R&D.
So what we see over the years in the Chinese car market is the emergence of brands like this one, really slick, really modern looking, really cutting edge, and electric, and it boasts autonomous driving and all these cutting edge features. Do you think this is one of the key trends in the China mobile market, automobile market right now, and how does it play its role in the world right now?
Yeah, currently China is the largest market for cars, not only for passenger cars but also for commercial vehicles. And also from the government side, I think the Chinese government I think has launched many policies to develop the EV market. Based on the policies from the government, I think the EV market, China will be the largest EV market in the very near future. Under this big environment, I think there will be more and more EV makers, new EV makers, will join this industry. And on the other side, you will see more high technologies, and the competition in this industry will be more and more harder and harder.
Thank you very much for your insight.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, let's walk over there and see if we can find some more interesting stuff. So we also see familiar names like Qualcomm and Visa, and we're expected to see some things related to smart devices and Internet of Things later as we progress into this stadium. So something about Internet of Things. I mean, in 2016, the manufacturing industry had a total investment, worldwide, of 102 billion US dollars. That's in China, according to IDC. An investment in Internet of Things reached 178 billion US dollars. So a lot of these investments into Internet of Things are from manufacturers, which they really need to coordinate all their mobile arms to achieve maximum efficiency in their factories. So this is an area with really Korean businesses. And according to China's Ministry of Industry and Internet Information Technology, in 2017, the Internet of Things sector has grown from 170 billion yuan in 2009 to 930 billion yuan in 2016, which had a composite growth rate of 25%. And that is an impressive number. So let's do some more walking here in this stadium and see if we can find some more interesting things. So this is a company that showcases Internet of Things solutions.
在特别困难的情况下，帮我们争取到了这个展。
Let's see what they showcase here. Okay, so these are some of the gas sensors. I think these are all applications, home applications, gas sensors, GPS locators, and this is one device where it can automatically call the police when somebody breaks in your room. It detects intrusions, gas detectors, PM 2.5 air pollution detectors. And these are some of the routers that connects all these things. I mean, these standalone devices has been in the market for quite some time, but the point of Internet of Things is to really connect these things into one portal, for example, in your cell phone, and then it can coordinate all functions, and then you can monitor all the information within your phone. So what we have over here is Philips. Oh, so this is a satellite solution. I think it allows for a very precise location. It allows you to read a very precise route. You see on the screen. You can see really a route being as precise as different lanes on the road. So yeah, we have a taste of artificial intelligence and what it can do, and 5G technology, which allow for Internet of Things, smart city, and remote controls, and autonomous driving. Not only just autonomous driving per se, but China's new automobile industry and smart devices. For example, we tried on a holographic communication device, which allows for a long distance communication of really a 3D version of that. So I hope today you've got a taste of what the Mobile World Congress Shanghai 2018 is like and what it can showcase. It runs from June the 26th to Friday, June the 29th. And if you're interested, you're welcome to check it out in Shanghai. So that concludes, now we conclude this live broadcast. I'm Yang Chengxi in Shanghai, and I'll see you in the next one.